Hey everyone, and welcome back to Shirley's Strange Tales. I'm your curator, Shirley. Today, we're diving deep into Chinese mythology to analyze the ultimate top-tier position, the Celestial Emperor. The Jade Emperor. Now, what image pops into your head when you think of him? Is it from the classic Journey to the West adaptation? The one where Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, causes such a ruckus that the Jade Emperor is shown cowering under his desk, panicking, waving his hands and shouting, "Go and fetch the Buddha. Somebody, please, fetch Buddha." If that's your main impression, then this video is going to completely flip your worldview. We have to ask, how could a leader, supposedly scared by a monkey, end up on the supreme throne of the three realms and keep this massive empire running for billions of years? The answer lies in a system of power that's far more cold and efficient than you can imagine. So, let's pull back the golden curtain. Was the Jade Emperor an incompetent figurehead, or was he the ultimate master manager, playing a cosmic game of chess we never understood? And we're going to uncover his most important strategic resource, the elixir of immortality. First, we need to get one thing straight, and it's the most important frame for this entire discussion: the Jade Emperor is not God. In Christian culture, God is the creator. He's omnipotent, the divine being who created the universe and its physical laws from nothing. The Jade Emperor, however, is better described as the chief executive officer of a massive, pre-existing celestial bureaucracy. Let's use a bold metaphor. Picture this. Think of the heavenly court as a massive, cross-dimensional, eternal universe-level corporation. The CEO/Emperor is the Jade Emperor. He's the top decision-maker and the public face of the corporation. The co-founder/board chairwoman is the Queen Mother of the West. She controls the corporation's most core, irreplaceable strategic asset. The department heads/VPs are the countless gods and immortals, the three purities, for sovereigns, the five elders, the ministers of thunder, war, wealth, plagues, you name it. They all run their own divisions. The middle managers and staff are the 28 constellations, the dragon kings of the seas, the local mountain and earth deities. They're on the ground, executing orders and maintaining stability. So, what's the Jade Emperor's day job? It's not about personally moving mountains or overturning oceans. His daily routine is this: presiding over the morning meeting in the Hall of Divine Mists, reviewing countless memorials and reports from across the three realms, listening to quarterly updates from every department, making executive decisions about disaster relief for a drought or flood in the mortal world, conducting the final interview and approval for a successful cultivator's application to become an immortal. He is a manager, a ruler. His primary power comes from his title and the immense system of heavenly laws and administration he represents, a system that's been running for eons. In an organization this vast, personal combat power becomes secondary. It's like the CEO of a Fortune 500 company. His authority isn't about whether he can code better than his lead engineer, but about his control over company strategy and resource allocation. But this leads to a critical question: in a realm filled with powerful, ancient beings, can administrative commands alone command true respect? Obviously not. This brings us to the dark, brilliant, and absolutely fundamental core of the Jade Emperor's power structure. To maintain an eternal empire, all its members, the gods themselves, must face an ultimate problem: the end of time. In the Journey to the West universe, there's a brutal, practical reality. Gods are not born immortal. They face catastrophic trials every 500 years, the most famous being the three calamities. Even if they survive these, their lifespans aren't infinite. They need to constantly top up their existence to achieve true eternity. It's like your cell phone data plan. No matter how generous, it will eventually run out. You have to recharge. The Jade Emperor and the Queen Mother of the West are the sole, legitimate providers of this immortality data plan for the entire cosmos. They control the ultimate recharge resource. This is the most dazzling, and most dangerous, jewel in the Jade Emperor's crown. 1. The Queen Mother of the West, Heaven's chief resource officer. In folk tales, she's often just the Jade Emperor's stern wife. But on the organizational chart of power, she's so much more. She is the co-founder and chief resource officer, CRO, directly managing the company's most vital and profitable asset. That asset is the peach garden. These peaches of immortality aren't just delicious fruit. They are universe-level strategic resources. The ultimate hard currency. According to the original texts, they come in 3 grades. Basic low grade, ripen every 3,000 years. A mortal who eats one becomes an immortal, achieving health and lightness. Mid-grade, ripen every 6,000 years. Eat one, and you'll ascend to heaven immediately, achieving longevity. High grade, ripen every 9,000 years. Eat one, and you live as long as heaven and earth, as eternal as the sun and moon. This is a complete product line for immortal promotion and life extension. And the Queen Mother's regularly held peach banquet? That is not some happy family reunion. It is the celestial realm's highest-level ceremony for awarding power and distributing benefits. Getting an invitation means you're accepted into the inner circle of power. You've received your passport for the next life cycle, or even for eternal life. Not getting an invitation means you're being sidelined, facing the risk of having your immortal registration revoked, leading to your eventual death and dissolution. Just think about the sheer brilliance and cruelty of this. By monopolizing the distribution of these peaches, the Jade Emperor and Queen Mother literally hold the lifeline of the entire celestial system. Your loyalty, your performance, your value are directly exchanged for your right to exist. Disobedience means social death and the physical death that follows. This kind of control is more fundamental and effective than any administrative decree or physical threat. 2. The Jade Emperor's Ascent, the ultimate grind from mortal to CEO. According to Taoist texts, the Jade Emperor wasn't always divine. He was once a prince who abandoned his throne to cultivate the Tao, helping his country and saving people. He underwent 200 great kalpas of training to become a golden immortal, and then another 100 million kalpas before finally ascending to the throne. A kalpa is a cycle of cosmic creation and destruction. This backstory isn't just mythology, it reveals another source of his authority. He is the ultimate winner of the longevity game. Through an unimaginable span of time, measured in cosmic cycles, he proved his supreme endurance, wisdom, and legitimacy in obtaining eternal life. He wasn't a born king. He was the last one standing after the most intense competition imaginable. Once he reached the top, he and the Queen Mother transitioned from being challengers of the system to becoming its architects and monopolists. He didn't just hold executive power, he gained the final say over life itself, its definition and its distribution. Now, let's use this new resource theory of power to decode Sun Wukong's havoc in heaven. You'll see it wasn't just a mischievous romp. It was a precise decapitation strike on the very foundation of the Jade Emperor's rule. From a surface view, Monkey just knocked over a furnace, stole some wine, and ruined a party. But from the Jade Emperor's throne, Sun Wukong was systematically dismantling his empire. 1. He stole the core asset. Putting Wukong in charge of the Peach Garden was meant to be a placating move, like making him the guard of the National Gold Reserve. Instead, he ate almost all the top-tier, 9,000-year peaches. This was the equivalent of a security guard robbing the vault, plundering the company's most valuable patents and gold reserves. 2. He sabotaged the power ritual. He crashed the Peach Banquet. This wasn't just a failed party. It was a public humiliation of celestial authority and a complete paralysis of the power distribution system. This year's life extension quotas couldn't be handed out, shaking the loyalty of every god present. 3. He attacked the backup system. He stole and ate lousy specially crafted 9-cycle golden pills. This was like destroying the backup power generators right after taking out the main grid. Now, can you still say the Jade Emperor overreacted? Sun Wukong wasn't just smashing a few office computers. He was hacking the central server, deleting the core database, and granting himself unlimited shares and stock options. He wasn't just challenging the Jade Emperor's pride, he was attacking the very order that allowed the Heavenly Court to exist. This is why the previously tolerant Jade Emperor became utterly uncompromising. And this is also why, when conventional military force, the 100,000 heavenly soldiers, failed, he deployed the ultimate solution, calling in the external superpower, Buddha. This wasn't a cowardly cry for help. It was a CEO, facing an existential crisis, making the most rational strategic decision possible, bringing in a strategic investor to resolve a systemic risk that he couldn't handle internally. Buddha's intervention preserved not just the Jade Emperor's authority, but the stability of the entire cosmic order. Through the Peach system, the Jade Emperor's power seems absolute. But in this complex universe, his power isn't the only game in town. There's a delicate ecosystem of powers that cooperate and check each other. The Jade Emperor Queen Mother represent the pole of administration resources. They govern the present, order, and the continuation of life. They are the rulers of the here and now. Buddha/the Buddhist pantheon, represent the pole of spirituality wisdom. They govern karma, reincarnation, and ultimate enlightenment, nirvana, a form of eternity beyond life and death. They are the guides to the afterlife. Laozi, the Supreme Old Lord, represents the pole of technology knowledge. As a high-level deity, he constantly develops the elixir pills, an alternative longevity resource. He's the chief scientist and senior advisor, offering another path outside the peach system. Their relationship is one of co-governance and balance. The Jade Emperor needs the Buddhist system's ultimate justice to legitimize his rule, and he needs Laozi's RD as a resource backup. Likewise, Buddha and Laozi need the Jade Emperor's administration to maintain daily order, providing a stable environment for their teachings and experiments. So, the Jade Emperor's power is immense, but not infinite. He maintains his dominance within a complex network by controlling the most fundamental, inelastic demand of all, the desire for eternal life. So, let's answer our original question: who is the Jade Emperor, really? He was absolutely not the weak, powerless figurehead that popular drama often makes him out to be. He was a top-tier executive who climbed his way to the top through the most grueling grind imaginable. Together with his strategic partner, the Queen Mother, he monopolized and managed the most critical asset in the cosmos, the peaches of immortality. This made him not just an administrative leader, but the holder of the lifeline for every other god. His calmness, his patience, his moments of thunderous action, they all served one ultimate purpose: to maintain the absolute stability of a ruling system built on the promise of eternal life. The image of him hiding under a table from a monkey is largely a dramatic device from folk art, designed to highlight Sun Wukong's rebellious spirit. In the cold, hard logic of mythical power politics, he and his system were the ultimate boss, a master of resource control, cool-headed and ruthless to his core. Sun Wukong's havoc in heaven, therefore, stops being a simple hero's tale. It becomes a failed, desperate revolution against a system of immortal privilege. It shows us that even in the world of gods, the game of power revolves around the most primitive and fundamental resource of all, life itself. So, what do you think? Was using immortality as the ultimate management tool a masterstroke of political genius, or the foundation of a fragile empire? If another, easier source of eternal life was discovered, would the Jade Emperor's corporation collapse? I want to hear your unique thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy these deep dives into the power structures of mythology, please hit that like and subscribe button. And ring the bell for notifications. Your support is my biggest motivation for exploring these mysterious worlds. That's all for today's episode of Sherry's Strange Tales. See you next time.